Lauren, again, beautiful remarks. Myself as a cancer survivor, multiple myeloma, and my story, though different than cystic fibrosis, is also one based on hope. Hope that a new therapy can come along, can take something that's a chronic disease and turn it into a cure. I really view MassBio, or the Massachusetts Biotechnology Council, as sort of the Massachusetts, biotechnology, we help people live longer, happier lives council, as being really our mission for what it is that we need to do every day. And it's so important that we all remind ourselves the patient voice and perspective. It's easy to get caught up in important issues like regulations and pricing, and those are all fundamental to our industry. But what's more fundamental is how do we help people live longer, happier lives? And this gets to what we're here to talk about today, the state of possible. Those just aren't empty words at MassBio. They're actually actions that this organization, led by Bob and Kendall and the whole organization, live through every day and execute on. So the State of Possible is the new name of our annual meeting and reflects the passion and global leadership of Massachusetts as a life science cluster. And the remarkable work of our members to generate new treatments, develop potential cures, pursue new platforms and modalities, and most significantly, create new possibilities for patients in need. That's what we do every day, I believe, just as well, if not better, than any other organization or cluster in the world. So the concept for the State of Possible is to have an annual meeting where we are constantly looking forward to highlight the potential of what's possible today in our industry and where is this leading us to in the next decade. Possibility is what brings us all together, and it's the basic notion that a single scientific insight could lead to a breakthrough that may one day transform human health. And this is a critical point. That idea is the glue that binds everyone in this room together, the hope of a single breakthrough, from academic researchers, bench scientists, to those working to develop and launch emerging clinical programs. And for me, that breakthrough happened when Millennium Pharmaceuticals decided to work on a drug called Velcade, and a drug that was rejected at two other, or let's just say wasn't advanced at two previous companies, and turned out to be a protease inhibitor that was one of the key treatments that I got to save my life. And so John Magnori and all the teams who worked there, I've got to thank over the years for all of their work, but I'm living proof that the State of Possible has always been possible in Kendall Square. And this organization, MassBio, is really driven to keep that going, whether it's for CF or for the many other diseases that we're addressing. So I think what we're doing is really, we're establishing a culture that demands focus on finding solutions to the hardest problems and making the biggest impact. My type of cancer that I have is a non-aggressive form of multiple myeloma, but believe me, every day I think about the patients that weren't as lucky, if you will, that have a more aggressive form, and I actually worry about those patients. And I would be lying if I said there wasn't some guilt that I have for not having a more aggressive form, because, I worry about the lives that they lead, and I know how terrible this disease can be. So every day I worry about other patients, and that's what makes our cluster so powerful. So this past year has reinforced what an honor it is to serve as chairman of MassBio. I thank my fellow board members for their dedication to MassBio, and more than 1,100 companies, imagine that, 1,100 companies are members of MassBio. We continue to set the standard for our industry. It's Bob Coughlin's leadership and his team that work every day to make the State of Possible a reality. I'm also the CEO of a biotech company called Frequency Therapeutics. We're focused on small molecule-based regenerative medicine within the body, and we have a clinical stage program to restore hearing in patients with noise-induced hearing loss. We're also pursuing new therapies for multiple sclerosis and other degenerative conditions. So I want to talk briefly about one of the initiatives that I'm most proud of. And last year, at the start of my 2-year tenure, I promised to work towards extending the benefits of our extraordinary industry to more people in the Commonwealth, regardless of background. In addition, I was promised to find new ways for our outstanding board members to increase their impact. With the support of MassBio, our accomplished professional staff, our board members, and our companies, we have made great strides on a number of fronts during the past year. I am proud today to talk about a number of these initiatives that have delivered on the ideas we discussed just 1 year ago. In January, at Framingham State University, MassBio and our partners launched Project OnRamp, a program focused on connecting high-performing, first-generation Massachusetts college students from underserved backgrounds to paid summer internships at leading life science companies. Project OnRamp is about breaking down barriers, building diversity, and creating the future of our life science industry in Massachusetts. I'm proud to say that we reached the initial goal of providing at least 50 paid internships for the summer of 2019. These would have been men and women who otherwise wouldn't be in our industry, and we are proactively working to find them and put them in some of the top organizations in our cluster. We selected 50 Project OnRamp Life Science Scholars from Massachusetts' 4-year colleges and universities and are placing them in summer internships with local life science companies. It took a team effort to make Project OnRamp, and I'd like you to thank me in joining our partners who came together to make this happen. Of course, MassBio and our sister organization, MassBio Ed, Life Science Cares under the leadership of Sarah McDonald, and of course, the Massachusetts Life Science Center under the leadership of Travis McCready, and our friends at Bottom Up. You know, on the slide, you can see the names of the many companies that have committed to hosting Project OnRamp Life Science Scholars. If you could join me in a little round of applause to thank them for their work, that would be wonderful. Moving forward, we're fully committed to making sure that highly motivated and accomplished students from underrepresented groups can find internship opportunities. So it has to be more than just who you know. We have to proactively go out and get the workforce of the future and show them what a great industry this is. And we're able to get as many of our member companies as possible to participate in this program. A paid internship, as we all know, is one of the best ways to get started in a career in the life sciences. And as we all know, the deck can be stacked against those without the connections to access coveted academic and professional opportunities. For business reasons, this is also really important because, in fact, the immediate future of our industry depends on it. Imagine this, we expect that within 4 years, there will be 12,000 new life science jobs to be filled in Massachusetts, and we need to constantly work to identify the talent that will move our industry forward. Our Project OnRamp Life Science Scholars are an important starting point. We plan to grow in the future, and I challenge all the life science companies in Massachusetts to see what Project OnRamp students have to offer. And then I'd like to just talk about a couple things we're doing internally at MassBio, and then we're going to, trust me, we'll all break for lunch. So during the past year, MassBio has also looked closely at how we can do a better job for the Commonwealth and for our members. And there are a number of important initiatives underway that will position our organization and our membership for success. As chairman, I've made it my mission to ensure that MassBio doesn't take our success for granted. We must take measurable action to ensure Massachusetts remains the best place in the world for the life sciences. To that end, we've established several new initiatives to define what's next and what MassBio's role should be. You'll continue to see an emphasis on innovation services where MassBio is proactively providing structure and discipline to support early stage innovation in our ecosystem. These programs include Mass Connect, Pharma Days, Academic Outreach, and the Family Office Forum. These are efforts supported by MassBio's Innovation Services team, which assists early-stage entrepreneurs and engages with academic medical centers and universities throughout the region. We also have a medical device advisory group looking for ways to advance the integration of the medical device industry into our biotech cluster. This support is crucial for our efforts to focus on opportunities in advancing drug delivery, including unique developments and regulatory challenges. One area where I'm going to spend a little bit more time is our focus on digital health. And last year, we decided to make an initiative in this area, and we just released last month a study called Making Massachusetts a Global Destination for Digital Health. This report examines how to make Massachusetts the best place in the world for digital health and offers a roadmap for MassBio to follow so we can better support the life science companies to understand and better integrate digital health tools to advance their science and research and ultimately improve outcomes for patients. The report noted this cluster, possess the competencies of a leading digital health cluster. We have the talent, access to capital, and data. We also have a commitment from the public sector to make rapid advances in this field. There are missing pieces and structural problems that we can correct to bring future growth. Like in the life sciences, digital health is an innovative ecosystem that has to be nurtured and developed. I'm very confident that our efforts, particularly during the next 5 years, will help us develop and sustain a position as the world's leader in digital health as it plays a bigger and bigger role in research and patient care. So someone once described the work of a CEO as being constructively paranoid. That might have been the folks on my management team. But we're always looking for what's missing, asking what could go wrong. I think about the lesson here in Massachusetts of Route 128 when it was at one time called America's Technology Highway. Eventually, that mantle as a technology hub traveled west where it remains today. While we're in a strong position today, it remains crucial that we continuously integrate new approaches to drug development, and take an increasingly multidisciplinary approach to advancing our scientific pipelines. You know, the phrase "go west, young man" takes on new meaning as we focus on expansion of this cluster, beyond Cambridge. For MassBio, that's a short drive down the Massachusetts Turnpike to Worcester, Amherst, and Springfield, as well as points south and north, where we are seeing a reemergence of biopharma manufacturing and where new ventures are springing up almost daily. It's crucial that we continue to expand MassBio's connections beyond Greater Boston and the 128 region. Let's find new ways to engage significantly with our colleagues across Massachusetts and build a stronger connection to new emerging innovation centers. When I think about what's possible, I think about your work to advance innovations that will give other patients the chance I was given to survive a disease where just 2 decades ago, there would have been very little hope for me. When we think about what's possible, we're thinking about new beginnings. How many more individuals is it possible to help? How many new companies is it possible to start? How many breakthroughs are possible to achieve? How many benefits are possible when we make connections within and between our companies? Each question leads us to new ideas, new definitions of what is possible. So thank you again for your opportunity to lead the board during this exciting time. Thank you for being here at the State of Possible Conference, where the future begins, and I hope to see you all tonight at the State of Possible celebration at the Museum of Science at 6 p.m. Thank you.